Hello, everyone. Welcome to Alphawisdom. I'm Mystic Cassandria. And our new topic today is about something we all run into or still have, and that is stress, strain, anxiety, and restlessness. Okay, let's follow along. These signs, yes, they are signs, are its nature's way of telling the person to slow down. Should the warnings be ignored, the person's weak spots will give way. If this happens, time needed to restore his or her health may be long, painful, and costly in more ways than one. So here we're going to be looking at examples, most of them are photos, of a hand showing these signs. The first one, we're going to be focusing on the index finger, which of course is Jupiter, and the little finger. Okay? Now, it's always on the lower flange. If you're new to the channel, the flange is just a section of your finger. This is the third section. And then we have this dividing of the flesh where you have your knuckle. And here, above that, is the second flange. Above that is the first flange. So it always appears on the last flange, which is the third one, the bottom one. Okay? So let's learn something about it. As you look at that, these lines tend to appear during periods of stress and can disappear if a person learns how to manage tension. Doing an analysis of numerous hands, it has been found that these stress lines appear on the fingertips. We're not covering the fingertips today, just letting you know they do appear there. Similarly, long-term frustration manifests itself through a series of small horizontal lines on the lower flange of the fingers. Lower flange. These lines show that a person has experienced frustration around life, controlled by whichever finger or fingers the lines appear on. For example, frustration lines on the index finger can relate to or are related to your work and your career. While on the little finger, this reveals frustration in relationship or in the ability to communicate. Why? Because the little finger involves communication. That's main characteristic. These lines often appear in conjunction with stress. And of course, that is a type of stress. Okay, let's leave this and move on. So here we have an example. It says restless. We're going to be focusing on restless now. Okay? A purely restless soul, person who's just restless, is indicated by a series of very fine lines. These are usually small or thin lines, but I made sure that you could see them, that enter the palm from the percussion side of the palm just above the headline. This side is always the percussion side. Sometimes it's referred to as the edge of the palm. Well, in palmistry, it's the percussive side, okay? And it comes here and goes across. Doesn't go very far, but it goes across. And it's always above the headline. Here's your headline. And of course, it's below the heart line. This signifies a dislike of physical activity or physical inactivity. Don't want to be bothered with it. These people are compulsive. They must be doing something. Now, there's an issue with fingers. Here we have an example of wide fingers. Wide space between the fingers. This adds to the restlessness this person feels. If you have wide fingers along with that issue there. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. Okay, here we have hands showing stress and strain through, it says fluffy, okay. All right, most often it is suggested people that show stress and strains in several other ways. We're looking at something that's referred to as fluffy. All right, this is like fluffiness here. Okay, here we have, if the strain gets unbearable, it may affect the person's physical state. And if that is the case, we will see this fluffiness on the lifeline. If it becomes emotional, then we see it shown on the heartline. Okay, that's the best term that could be given for it. It seems to be filled, just filled up here. It's a form of stress, and it is like heavy duty stress where you feel, I can't take this anymore, it's unbearable, okay? So let's leave this one. Now we move into what we have are these lines. This is physical stress and strain, and it could occur on any fingers. I gave you 2 examples here, where it's on the index finger and on the middle, no, that's the ring finger. Now, these are small horizontal white lines across the top flange of any of the fingers, and it suggests physical stress and strain. This is often seen on the hands of those who insist on burning the candle at both ends for too long. They're simply called white lines, and they can be temporary. They can appear overnight. They can appear over the course of the day, or most likely to appear at the end of a particularly trying time. If the person hasn't taken time for adequate food, drink, or rest, the physical and nervous energy reserves will be depleted. After a meal and a good night's sleep, the lines will usually disappear, meaning you're working on the problem and your hands are letting you know that everything is getting better, or maybe it is better. All right? Well, that's the end for today. We'll continue talking about one or more of these signs that are mentioned here. Give a thumbs up if you liked it, share, and of course, subscribe. Welcome to the new subscribers. Happy to have you here. Well, love yourself. Have a great day. Love and light. Bye.